And we're live. Welcome, welcome everybody to the Sisters United Hangout. And we are here. We're going to be talking today about the power of events. And first, before we go into that, we're going to just introduce ourselves across the panel. We're going to get into the topic. I am Valerie Jampolsky. I am the Abundance Mom Feederpreneur from Abundance Now, and I'm a single mom of twin 5-year-old boys. And got a semi-naked kid alert. Got one awake and one asleep. So we'll keep him organized away from. So I'm here in this corner here, and I'm here. So say that I'm really, really grateful that I'm here because I used to be an entertainment attorney, and I'd made a powerful awareness and determination when I was pregnant with my twins, realizing, sitting in my office pregnant with the twins, that if I didn't do some sort of a transition, make some sort of a change, I was never going to be around for my kids. And they would be raised, never mind daycare, they'd be raised by nannies. I would basically be lucky if I took them in at night. So I'm so grateful that I am able to be with them, able to go and do things like recently went to this amazing event in Bali. I was able to go with my kids and be there and do that and just be home with my kids. We're starting virtual kindergarten, so I get to be home with them and do all that and take them to the park, take them to Disneyland, talk about things that really matter to hear on, hangouts like this, and just really be able to talk about things that matter to me and live my life according to stuff that is, for me, provides meaning and helps other people. And I just have such gratitude for that. And that's me. So I'm going to pass it on over to Sarita.
Yay! I don't know if you can hear there's a bit of an echo because I just moved here. There's a few furniture, but it's not packed, and it sounds like there's a bit of an echo here, but my dog is right there, Luna. Luna, hi, puppy. She's a poor little thing. She's like 15 years old, I think. She's very old. She doesn't see properly anymore. She was my first baby. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 2 little ones, a 3-year-old and almost 5-year-old now. Like my daughter is turning 5 next month, and my son is 3. And this was my first baby, so-called baby, Luna, and she's almost 15, which is very old for a dog. So her eyes are a bit, she's got, I don't know what you call it, but I know she doesn't see very well anymore and stuff, but she was my first baby, and I'm just really happy to be here, tuning in at 11:04 p.m. I was just on an interview with Sheena. She interviewed me for her awesome podcast. So, and it's 11 p.m. here in Australia, Perth, Australia. So, thank you for having me, everyone.
Hey, and Claude. Sheena. I was excited to see her soon. I'm going to pass it on over to CJ.
Hey, thank you so much, ladies, for having me here today. It's awesome to be able to see you all on a weekly basis. I love each and every one of you. I am a stay-at-home mom of 3 boys. I have a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old, and we are also homeschooling them as well. This is my very first year doing it, so I have a 4th grade and a 1st grader that I am homeschooling. But my life was not always this bliss, as you can say. I used to work for corporate America. It's been 1 year now since I've walked away from my job, and I was with them for 14 years, and I would work anywhere from a 12 to a 16-hour day, so you can imagine how much time I actually was able to see and spend and enjoy my children. I was able to watch them grow up through minutes here and there or quick moments, and I worked actually 6 days a week because I was a senior rep within the company, so I had to work Monday through Saturday, so my only days off were Sundays. And the opportunity came up for me to join this wonderful, amazing family. And I jumped on board about a year ago with absolutely no regrets and just nothing but abundance and joy and happiness. And I've had the best year of my life with my children, and I'm looking forward to the remainder of their life with them and making lots of memories. It's worth every second.
I'm so excited. I was also thrilled whenever you hop in and when we get to see you. I'm going to come right over now to Carolina. Carolina, hi.
I have to unmute myself first.
Good.
Unmute.
Good.
Yeah, Actually, I'm going to have a yoga class here a little bit later, so I maybe have to jump off for a while. But I'm a mother of 3 children, 15-year-old Ida and 14-year-old Alex, and soon 9-year-old Frida. And why I'm here today is because I have to say that it's pretty much like thanks to my cancer, because it made me to realize how much I have missed from my kids to growing up, because I was an entrepreneur. I was massage and sport therapist, and I have been my own entrepreneur like for over 10 years, and I worked really hard. I worked almost every week, like 6 to 7 days in a week, and many of those days I worked really late. So I have missed a lot, and that feels quite crappy, to be honest. And while I was sick, I like realized that I don't. There's like so little time left before my kids are in that age that they start to study somewhere else and are going to move away, and I don't really want to miss anything from them to being home anymore. So I got contact with Gabrielle Morrison, and I'm on that road. I have been a little bit a slow starter, but that doesn't slow me down anymore. So now I'm got limitless and heading to my first event to Orlando. So I'm really excited. Making big things happening.
Yeah, very, very cool. So I'm just curious, what inspired you to say, that's it, I'm coming to my first event? What was it that inspired you to do that?
I just want to see all of you people that I have been in contact with through emails and Skype and Hangouts and stuff like that. I think that's just going to make such a big turn to everything, to see all the successful people and get connected with all your moms and entrepreneurs who are like really successful, and because that's something that I want for myself and for my family also. And you have to stay connected with people that you want to look or like copy. To be successful, you have to be around people that are successful and happy with their lives. So it's going to be really elevating and really awesome.
Yeah, so I'm so excited to be able to see you there. It's like, I remember when you first came in. Actually, I'd love to come over if possible. Sarita, how do you feel about coming up? Because I know you had powerful experience with your first event, and talk about the power of events, because I know it's been massively transitioned for you.
Yeah, for me, my first event was New Orleans, so that was last year, May, and I can just see 11:10 right now, so that makes me happy because I'm speaking at 11:10. I believe in all those triple digit or whatever. Those people are into all those number things. They get what I'm saying. Otherwise, it's okay. I'm just doing my thing. But yeah, so I just had to mention that. So I was like, 111, awesome. I'm speaking by myself. I just love things like that. But yeah, I got started working online last year in February. My first event, I actually was they announced there was a mastermind, and I was the first one to book my place. And I was like, okay, because I knew I had to do it. I booked my flight from Australia to Orlando, which is like over 30 hours, between 30 and 40 hours, depending on what kind of flight you're getting. And I didn't have one sale yet. I didn't have one inquiry yet. And the day after I booked my flight, I got my first email inquiries. And then the last day of the first event I've ever been to, which was New Orleans, I had my first $3,000 sale in one day. So yeah, so that was pretty awesome for me because, but I think it's like, you know, I very much believe believe in how the universe works, and it's like if you're really committed, like I was like, I'm just going to do it. The universe supports you. And I think many people are just tiptoeing around and fears coming in. People, you know, they listen too much to other people's opinions, their family, their friends, and often the people that are the closest to you can be actually the stumbling blocks because they only mean well, and they do think they want to protect you or whatever, possibly because they do care for you, but it could also be their own ego getting in the way, because if you're starting to do something that's not the norm and you're becoming successful, that can also challenge their belief about their life and how they've lived their life all that long. And you know, it's easier for them to possibly badmouth what you're doing, because otherwise they have to look at their own life and realize that maybe what they're doing that doesn't really work. And you know, for me, I never could accept the belief that it's okay to put your kids when they're like 6 weeks old into someone else's hand. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like, why would you be a mother if you want to have to pass your kids to someone when they're 6 weeks old? They should be still breastfeeding until they're 3 or 4 usually in natural life. But society says that's okay, and that never felt like it was okay to me. And so that's the whole reason I trusted my heart, I trusted my gut. I didn't care what people thought, and people thought, you know, I was part of mums groups and I did all the mummy stuff when you have kids. And after about 12 months, everyone kind of disappeared. People were going back to their jobs, and I wasn't. Some stayed home, but most of them went back to a job, and I just didn't want to do that to my kids because, first of all, I think I would have been in mere panic, just being apart from my kids for that long, like 8 or 10 hours a day when they're that long, when they're that young, and especially still breastfeeding and stuff. It just doesn't seem to work for me. So I was determined to just follow my heart. I always wanted to be a mum, and I just love being around my kids. So that's the whole reason I wanted to be a mum, is to be with my kids. It's like, why do you want to be a mum if you have someone else look after your kids when they really need you and want you? So that's why I got started. And you know, I think many people try to reinvent the wheel when you start a new business, and I think I was lucky that I just listened to my mentors. And one of the things, we have like 8 core commitments of the business that we're doing, and one is go to the next event. And I was like, okay, I've never worked online, so I better listen to my mentors, right? Because I have no idea what I'm doing. And lucky I did. I didn't question it, and they told me to get to every event, and I have been to every event. I haven't missed one, even though I'm flying over 30 plus hours to get to every event. From New Orleans to Charlotte, I never thought I was going to Charlotte, and suddenly 5 weeks after New Orleans, they said, oh, everyone has to get to Charlotte. I was like, okay, geez, like another flight 5 weeks later, and I did it. And, you know, I actually stayed in a house with Paulina, who's a super close friend to me now. It's like she invited me to stay with her. Chris Rushlow was staying at that house too, a really good friend of, childhood friend as far as I know of, David Wood. So I made some special connections there because it was really last minute. But I just listened to my mentors. I listened to the people that are having results. I didn't try to reinvent the wheel, which many people do. And when people ask me why you're successful, it's like I just did what I was told to do. I never questioned it, and I was very lucky that I just did what I was told to do, and I didn't question it. And I hadn't been burned before or whatever, so it's the first thing I tried. It's the first sales thing I've ever tried my whole life, because I've actually, before that, I hadn't worked for close to 4 years because I was just home with my kids. And before that, I worked in, my last job was like an admin job for an insurance company, and before that I was actually a childcare worker. So I've never done anything I never made more than 30 to 40,000 a year. One more thing, just to wrap it up and make it really make people really jealous. or really hate me, or get really inspired. Like I said, I've never made more than 30 to 40,000 Australian a year, and my biggest month was this year in January, and I was actually traveling most of the time. I was like 2 months in Bali and 2 months in Vegas, and that month I had a $26,500 US dollar month, which I would say in Australian would be maybe 34,000 Aussie dollars in 1 month. And I traveled most of that month, and I didn't even do a lot of work. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's totally possible. Really listen to your mentors, listen to people that are having results, and do what they say. Because I tell you, I've got so many people on my team now. I've got over 100 people on my team, and they don't do. I tell them all the time. People are like, why am I not getting the sales? Why am I not? It's like, how many leads are you getting? Right? It's like, I was told get 30 to 50 leads a day. That's my focus every day. If I don't get those leads, I still got people asking me why they're not getting sales. Like, you can get leads free, you can get leads through paid methods, free methods, but make sure you get those leads. And it doesn't matter, like Diva Venture is so awesome. She was talking about it as well. She said, doesn't matter if you're like the cousin of the Dalai Lama. If someone is, if you have the most amazing content, but no one's seeing your stuff, no one's gonna. It's like you gotta have your leads coming in every day, and I find it quite interesting how so many people. I think it's truly ego getting in the way and they think they can. Or I'm going to buy that house, and I'm going to have all these other things that I want to do. But if you want your business to work, which is going to pay for way more things, you got to put your business first, because your business is where you going to be able to generate all that money to live that life of freedom, to get your house, to get the holidays, to get the free time. But so many people, I think, they don't actually believe it's possible, so they actually dig their own grave before they even get going. And I think what worked for me was that I just listened to my mentors, and I did what I was told, and it was very simple: get 30 to 50 leads a day, and that's it, period. And I did, and I'm still doing that, and I'm continuously on the leaderboards, and I really am nothing special, but I do listen to my mentors who are having results, and I just do what they're telling me to do. Get to every event, do your, listen to your inspirational audio every day, and follow those a few steps. And most people don't do it, and that's the reason why they don't succeed. And I think it's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
So, sorry, it's like a long story, but I get very frustrated because I've got so many people now, and they're all like begging me, and they're getting frustrated. It's like, how many leads a day are you getting? And most people don't even get 5 to 10. It's like, it's not because their content is not good, it's because they're just not following the steps of and you can get leads free, you can get leads through paid marketing, but you got to get leads. Without leads, you're not going to build a following, and you're not going to get sales. And I didn't know nothing about autoresponders. I didn't know nothing about lists. I didn't know nothing about sales. I've never even been a salesperson. But now I've got close to 10,000 people on my list of autoresponders when I send out an email. I don't even send out emails often enough, but I still am doing really well because I just, I get leads every day, and I get sales every day, and in the end of the day, that's how you're going to generate income. It's just part of a business. If you have a plumber or a painter and you're not advertising your business, and you wonder why the phone doesn't ring, it's because you're not advertising your business. It's as simple as that, and many people just don't do it because I think they don't believe that actually you can do it. So that's my rant for the day.
Yeah, and that's so powerful, Sarita. I mean, it's so true, because it's like it's that simple. It's really that simple. And and for you, I mean, when you went to an event, I mean, that sort of like helped you to solidify, to get put into action everything you needed to get put into action, so that all that could actually happen.
And I think, yeah, and then people like, I think I trust too quickly, but it's been in my favor. I've been burnt many times trusting too quickly, but at the same time, it's actually worked in my favor, because when I listened to my mentors, I really trusted them, and I really trusted what they said. And when they told me get 30 to 50 leads a day or get to every event, I did. I remember actually after New Orleans, I was told by one of my mentors, you don't have to go to the next event. You've just been to New Orleans. And I was like, no, but David Wood told me that I need to get to the next event and I have to go, even though someone else told me, oh, don't worry, just been to New Orleans. But I'm so glad I did, because if I hadn't gone, actually, Charlotte is when Valerie and I connected. And that's how we started the Mompreneur Hangouts, right? So if I hadn't gone, if I hadn't listened to that mentor under David Wood, I listened to David Wood. David Wood said, you have to shit. You know, I've got 2 kids, I've got to work out how to do this. However, I'm just going to do it, right? Because he said I have to go. So, but that big talk, and we created the Mompreneur Hangouts at that car park, Valerie and I, and then we started doing Sisters United. So if I hadn't gone, I wouldn't have stayed in the house with Paulina, who I'm super close with, and she's an amazing leader. I wouldn't have stayed in the house with Chris Rushello, who's a really close friend to David Wood, and, you know, Sheena, who I just had an interview with like an hour ago, who's amazing. She's doing her own iTunes podcast now. She was my first roommate ever there, and we've been roommates, I think, 4 times since. Like, we really work really well together, and we just get on, and we love each other to bits. But it's just interesting what can happen, you know, when you go to one event. The few people that you can meet, like Valerie and I created so much from me going to Charlotte. And then I met Sheena, and we were roommates, and it's this continuous, like, you just need to connect with a few people. Doesn't matter if they're on your team or not, and you can create amazing things together, you know. So every event, magic can happen, but I just think, like, listen to the people that really listen. They don't tell you this to sell stuff. They tell you this because they really want to help you, and they know, like, themselves, if they hadn't gone to whatever they had to go through to get to, you know, they're telling you this because it really helped them. And I'm so glad I didn't listen to one of the so-called mentors that I had. I listened to the main mentor, which is David Wood, and he was saying you have to go. And someone was telling me, oh, you don't have to, because 5 weeks later, you know, and I was like, no. Thank God I listened to myself. And I was like, no, but David Wood said I'm going to go, and so glad, because Valerie and I wouldn't have connected, and I wouldn't have been in the room with Sheena. I wouldn't have stayed with Paulina or Chris Rushello, and yeah, everything has worked in my favor. Every time I've gone to an event, my business has just grown, you know, and it's a big thing coming from Australia and having 2 kids. It's not a very easy trip, but I just can highly recommend you listen to someone who's really truly got massive success, and just trust that and go for it, you know.
Yeah, and it's so powerful. I'm gonna pop out Carolina just because she has to hop out to go to her yoga. So come on out, Carolina. I'm gonna talk on this.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, well, it's like I said, it's going to be my first event, this Orlando trip, and I'm scared to death because I have ever been outside of like Sweden and Finland alone without my husband or a whole handball team or something like that. So to travel alone to Orlando, Florida, it's exciting, but it's scary. But I know I can do it, and I was really not even thinking about to going, because I have myself been struggling quite a lot with limiting myself and my results, and I thought that I had kind of lost that putting the boundaries and limits to myself, but I realized that I haven't really been doing that at all. So when I trusted when Gabby said to me that you have to come to Orlando. You just have to come. I started to like think more and more about to going to Orlando, and then I just bought the ticket. I didn't even know how to get money to that like flight. It's really expensive. It's like just about over 1,000 euros to fly from here to Orlando and back. And then it's, of course, the living and events and stuff like that. But I thought, like, well, I have told to myself that if Gabby says me something, I have to trust her and just do whatever she says to me to do. So I booked the ticket, and actually she was telling me even to buy a ticket to the one-day mastermind. And there was like this one more ticket to buy. And I thought like, oh, okay, I do it. And I bought the ticket. But then I got like this message that, oh, you have to leave an application to Brian and Rhonda and see if you can come to the house for a week. And I was like, Gabby, I don't have that kind of money. But yeah, that will sort it out. Like, just leave the application. And for a while, I was totally, like, I was so scared that I was, like, almost shitting my pants, to be real. And, but then I come back to that if I'm going to go somewhere, I have to trust what Gabby is telling me to do. So I left the application to Brian and Rhonda, and now I'm going to live in the house the whole week in Orlando, and I couldn't be more excited.
Wow. It's going to be a powerful experience for you. Powerful.
Yeah, so I think that to lose that limits, because I think we are like learned from that we are kids to have like these limits that you are not any better than anyone else is, and that is kind of something that I'm doing also to learning my kids to not put any limits to what they can do or what they can't do, because that's only yourself telling what you can do, because you can do anything if you like to, if you just make the actions and put your mind into it.
Yeah, and that's what's so powerful. And I think a lot of what comes out of events is that. I mean, is being able to. I mean, I actually had my first $3,000 day at an event as well. It happened to me. The same thing happened, and there's just so many stories of all that, because there's something about when you finally put everything into action and then the belief kicks in, because you're connecting with people that are actually creating results, you know.
And actually, I made my first sale as fast as I decided to go to the whole week of masterminding.
Sarita, it's the same thing happened. Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like there's a trend. There's like a shift. There's something that happens.
Yeah.
You know, where things happen. Yeah. It's a powerful thing. It's a very powerful thing. CJ, you want to pop out on this?
It doesn't matter. If you want to go, I can wait. It's up to you. Do you want me to go last then?
No, either way, it's cool.
Okay. All right, I'll go.
Something says pull you up.
For me, it will be actually 1 year coming up this October for the Orlando event, since I've been to an event. My very first event was last Orlando, and because I had joined so late with the company or with the business, I mean, it was the house and mastermind was already filled. So unfortunately, I missed the Orlando mastermind. However, I did not miss another mastermind after that. I have made sure that I've attended every mastermind, every special event. I've been to the Women of Bliss, 2 of them now. I've been now to 2 of the masterminds. This will be my 3rd mastermind coming up. This will be my 3rd Women of Bliss coming up. This will be my 4th event coming up. It's just, you do what you have to do, and you don't find any excuse. I've with my 3 boys, I've never ever left them ever for any period of time. My mom, when she takes them, I take them back the same day. Like, they never spend the night. So my boys have never been away from me ever. My first time that my kids were away from me was when I went to Vegas in January. That was my very first time away from them, and that was extremely hard. I was away from them for 10 days. And then the second time was in Nashville. And because I had so many different events and activities and get-togethers in Nashville, I was away from them for 2.5 weeks. And I understand what Gabrielle and Sarita and all of them go through now when they travel all the way from Australia with no excuse. If they can do it, I knew I could do it. And then the other one was, this most recent one was Vegas, and I was there for 5 days. And the biggest thing about going to these events is, especially in my situation, I've never owned my own business. I've never worked online. I've never known what an autoresponder was, or capture pages, or leads list. I had no idea what any of these terms were. And for me, being at the events, I was able to speak one-on-one with people. I was able to sit down with my laptop right next to them, and they were able to help me and walk me through and point out all the different areas and different items that you don't get when you're home listening to the trainings. You don't get that one-on-one assistance. And this family is just that. They're family. Everyone's there to help you. There's no, as they say, no secret sauce that we're hiding. And when you're at the events, there's always somebody 24 hours a day to be there. There's always someone there to help or assist, or even if you just want to sit down and just chill and relax in a lounge somewhere and just laugh and make bonds. I mean, I have bonded closer with the tribe than I have with friends that I've known my entire life. We get together every 3 months and we run and scream like we haven't seen each other in decades, and it's only been 3 months, and it's a bond that you cannot get anywhere else. Not to mention the breakthroughs. I mean, endless breakthroughs. Every single event, it's been something else that's been eye-opening for me, awakening within me, something that I've seen within me that I have that I never realized I have, because working for corporate, I was always told what to do, when to do it, how to do it. Like, I was never able to be me and express me as a person. And with these events and listening to all the speakers and all the mentors that are there, you really truly find who you are and that gift and that value that you have to deliver. There's really no other way around it. You drop the excuses and just get there. One of the biggest things is that I found out I'm a very strong and powerful woman, and I had not realized that ever. I'm 36. I'll be 37, just so everyone know. And I never realized how strong and powerful I was until I started going to these events. Because I went from college right to the corporate job that I had. So I was never able to find my true meaning, my true self, my true purpose in life. However, it was found at these events. It was found that I have a life, I have a story, and I have a situation that needs to be heard, and it needs to be shared with women all around the world that felt the same way I felt, that felt lost, separated, misplaced in life. And these are all things that many women feel. They just do not come out and express it. They don't know how. And with all of the events and all of the audios that's been available to me over this past year, I've been able to help and express this to other women and let them see that life is there, and you just need to grab it and enjoy every precious moment, and don't ever feel that you're lost, and don't ever feel that you don't have a purpose, because everybody has a purpose. And these events really bring out those purposes in each and every one of us, and just listening to everybody up on stage is the best medicine for the soul, and help with the mindset to get your mind really where it needs to be. Just like Sarita said, there's going to be people in your life that's going to tell you, no, you cannot do this, and no, it's not possible, and why are you doing this? And it's okay. They have a right to their opinion, but you need to remember who you are, and you need to remember why you're here. And that's what these events do. They keep you focused, and they keep you in alignment with your purpose in the universe.
Yeah. and it's so powerful. I mean, I remember, in Vegas with you, there was an interesting thing that happened. Avram and Nikki had lost their wonderful dog Zeus, and we were all, I had this powerful experience where we'd all split up. I mean, this is like a family. This Zeus was missing, and they made
Doggy.
Zeus was missing, and they made an announcement, and there was hundreds of people there. Over 1,000 people, maybe, I can't remember. There's so many people that were there, and we all spread out into the area into a search for Zeus. I mean, at the end of the event, we all went out, and I had gone off, and I was supposed to be in this little group, and I zipped off away from it, and CJ, you did the same thing. We
In the dark, in the middle of the desert, we both came up on each other.
We came up each other in the desert, and then I'm going, CJ, right? It was. And we hadn't really connected, but that's how we actually bonded over looking for. Do you remember this? Looking for Zeus. And then the two of us were together when we jumped off that building.
Yes.
I mean, these are things that you can't. I mean, neither one of us, I think, knew we were going to be jumping off a building. But I mean, just the things that happened with, like, see, with Sarita, we were there, and in Charlotte, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. And somebody said, there's a party in a parking lot. What are you talking about? I was like ready to go to bed. There's a party in a parking lot, and there's a chef. Somebody's brought a chef, and they're in the parking. I'm like, okay. and I wasn't going to go. I mean, it was like this close, and somebody said, no, you have to. I don't know why, but you've got to be in this parking lot. And it was because of, you and me and bonding and crying in each other's arms going, we're going to help the mamas. Yes, we're going to help the mamas. It was like this whole thing that, I mean, it's all these things that happen that are just, you can't plan, you can't predict, but there's just, it's like magic. It's just a powerful thing. So many different things that happen at events. I mean, I overheard one conversation between $1 million earner and one 7-figure earner, and I was just standing there behind me for about 5 minutes at one of the masterminds, and it was a powerful thing that's affected me in what I do in my business. And I heard for like 2-3 minutes, and I just happened to be standing there, and I heard them talking, and it was this golden nugget that I wouldn't have picked up or heard had I not heard this conversation. It was like a really, the relationships and the things that happen that then feed over into what we do when we come home. And my first event was very, very soon after I just started in this business, and at the time I had no way to get there. I mean, it was kind of a crazy thing. I needed, because I wasn't going to leave my kids behind. They were twins. Twin 2-year-olds. I was still breastfeeding. I wasn't ready to stop breastfeeding, and I was like, okay, I'm not ready to stop breastfeeding. And if I go, that's what's going to happen. And they were too little to be alone. I had no one to watch them. I had no family here, no friends, no nothing. And I had to find a way. I was like, but that was the same thing. My mentor said, get to the event. And I said, I have to be there. I just knew I had to be there. And I actually ended up using an exercise that we have in our system, and used it, and actually manifested out of thin air, 4 airline tickets and me in the hotel and everything else, and someone incredible to watch the kids while I was there, to help me while I was doing other things, to be there so that my kids were with me there, even though I might not have with them every second. Every second, I was at least there with them at the event. I wasn't disappearing from them with somebody, here locally, and it was so powerful. I mean, one of my biggest shifts happened when I went to that particular event. It was my very first one. And so even if you happen to be watching this, and I want to talk about something here, because we have something coming up, a very quick event. I mean, Sarita has now come to the place where we're actually putting together something for those of you that are down under in the Australia, New Zealand area. There's something coming up. I don't know if Sarita, you want to talk to it. I'm actually going to be. I was almost there physically in person, but I'm live streaming in as one of the trainers. We're mentioning Sheena. She's live streaming in. Our other mentors, we've got Rhonda and Dee. They're live streaming. We've got some powerful people coming in. But if you want to speak about it, Sarita, coming up.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful actually. We're hosting our first mastermind in Australia, Gabrielle and me. Which is pretty huge. We're doing it on our own. We've got our own videographer. we're staying at this amazing luxury house at the canals in Perth, Medra, which is amazing. And yeah, we have Ronla tuning in via live stream. Same with Dee Varengia. We're actually having a Women of Bliss Day on the Friday, which is all about mindset. And I mean, Dee is a 7-figure earner in this business, and she's just an amazing mentor to me. So I'm just super grateful. We've got her guidance and support, and then we've got Justin Holland, who has been on, and he's on the leaderboards. He's doing really extremely well. He's teaching on the Sunday all his secrets. So yeah, so we've got a few spots open. I think 2 or 3 spots left max. So if anyone wants to last minute come to Perth, it's 11/11. It's actually really affordable. It's not US dollars, so that's in American dollars. In US dollars, it's I think 800 and something. In Australian, it's 11/11 for 4 nights accommodation at a luxury house. It's actually, we kept it super affordable in comparison to other masterminds because we really just want to. There's a need for this in Australia, and anyone in Empower, that's one of the opportunities that we're doing. You don't even have to be on our team. We just want to help the people that can't seem to get to the events, because it is, the States can be a long way away, especially when you are on the other side of the world. And we just want to serve the people who can't get to the States. And yeah, send me a message, Sarita D Klees on Facebook if you want to join us. It's going to be amazing. And I think the best thing about it is actually that it's going to be quite small. There's going to be no more than 16 attendees. All the recent masterminds that I've been doing have been over 60 plus. I think Bali was 69. And it's very hard to actually get one-on-one time with everybody when it's that big. So we're only going to have 16 max attendees. So you're going to get lots of one-on-one time with us, and it's going to be nice and intimate. And yeah, I'm just super excited for it. And on the Sunday, I'm actually bringing my kids, which I'm really excited because, yeah, obviously I'm so far away from the States or even Bali. It's hard for me to bring my 2 young kids under 5. But this is the first time actually on the Sunday, after like we've done everything and all the teachings, I'm actually going to bring my kids, and everyone's going to be able to meet my kids, and my kids are going to be able to meet everybody else. And I'm really excited for that because I'm doing it for my children. I'm doing it to be home with my kids, and that's been the whole reason I started this business. So that's huge for me as well, that I actually get finally integrate my why with what I'm doing, and people are going to get to meet my kids. I mean, I think we've got 2 kids under 2 being at the mastermind, so don't feel like you can't bring your kids. Because the reason is most people are doing this business is to either be home with their kids or to have the freedom to travel. That's what I've seen so far. So if you want to bring your little ones, we're totally open to that, because that's the whole reason most of us are doing this anyway. So yeah.
So beautiful. It's so beautiful. And yeah, and I'm excited to be streaming in from the outside, and we'll figure out. For me, it'll be some whacked out time, but it'll be cool to be able to be a part of it and stuff. So I'll be there by stream. So I want to see. I want to take a look on our page. Does anybody have the CJ or whatever? Do you see the page? I'm going to see if there's anybody who's been commenting or saying hi on our page. I forgot to do that.
I have not seen any comments on it.
Okay, all right, cool. So, if you happen to be watching this in the replay, if you're watching this in the replay, feel free to comment, put your experience and maybe some of the stuff that's happened for you at events, or if you have any questions about anything, absolutely, or any suggestions for topics ever in the future, let us know, because we love to be interactive here. And wanting to see if we have any other comments or any other thoughts. I just know if anybody watching this and they want to know what it is or what I did in order to be able to manifest crazy stuff out of what we do, definitely, message me and I can help you to know how I did that. It was an exercise in our system that we use. So I can guide you into that. If you're challenged at the last minute to somehow wanting to be able to get to our events that are coming up, all I can tell you is that anything is possible, because I did that in one day. I started the exercise in the morning, and by the night I had everything. Everything. It was kind of crazy. I mean, I've known people who have done it, and they did it in like 3 days, 5 days, which is also possible. But I actually for when I got to the event, I'd started in the morning with nothing, and by the nighttime I'd had the hotel, the airfare, and I had somebody watching the kids, all covered, everything covered. Just, with using this exercise. So, anything is possible. So, anyways, any other thoughts? Anybody please on the panel? Otherwise, we're gonna sign out, and we'll be back next week with another powerful topic. Anything else? Anybody?
I was going to share just a really quick story.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Just another event story, and this only happens at events. This was for me in Las Vegas in January. It was our very first night there when we all got together in the lounge downstairs, and I had never met Paulo before. And Paulo is one of our big leaders, and at that moment I had not realized how big of a leader Paulo was, and we were all just sitting on because in Vegas they had these big huge sofas that we would sit on in the lounge area. I had Paulo on one side of me, and I had John Penberthy on the other side. I already knew who John Penberthy was, but no clue who Paulo was. And we were just talking and having a good old time, and I had left my cell phone on the bar table for a minute while I went up to go say hi to somebody. While I had stepped away, Paulo had taken my cell phone and took a selfie with it and put it back down, and I had not found it until later on that evening. And it was just funny because they're normal people, they're everyday people, and they just like to have fun. And it was later on that evening that I had found out that Paulo was one of our leaders. So you never know who you're going to meet, you never know who you're going to sit next to, you never know who's going to put a selfie on your cell phone, and it's really, really good times at the events, and you have to go to them. There's no other way around it.
Absolutely, and the relationships and the people that you meet, connections. People that are now I consider my best friends in my life, I met at events, absolutely met at events, and then built, continued the relationship, in between as well via, all the things that we can do online and stuff. But the initial connection, the really deep connection happened at the events. It's a powerful thing. So I encourage you all to do that. If there's an event in your life that you can get to, right away, if you're connected with us, we've got some coming up. When you're down under, there's Perth. There's something coming up in Orlando in October, and we can guide you to all of that, and they're just really powerful experiences. And on that, anyone else? Carolina, you want to say anything else before we close out?
No, I just would give advice for you to really listen to your mentors and the people above you to make the action they tell you to do. So that would be my advice, but I don't really have anything else to add before that. My husband is arranging the yoga here, so I have to jump off. But I want to say thank you, girls, for this evening's hangout, and blessings to you, and see you soon.
Okay, see you soon. And excited for you all to see you soon in person, wherever you are. If you're at an event and you see any one of us, come up and grab us. Come up and grab us and go, hi, I'm from Sisters United, etc., etc. Please, we find things. We know a lot of you folks are shy. You're watching, and I hope you get past the shy and reach out. But definitely, if you're at an event or even you're coming, message us, Facebook us, going, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. Let us know. We'd love to connect. We'd love to see you, take pictures, and you never know, in the future you may end up being with us here on the panel. Anything is possible. So anyways, big hugs to you all. See you all next week. And you want to know how to connect with us, if you're seeing us from the outside, whoever invited you here, you connect with us with the links below, and they'll get you connected to whoever brought you to this hangout. And we'll see you all next week, and see you on the other side.